Hi everyone, my name is Denise and I'm a naturalist intern here at the Dorothy Pico Nature Center. And today for our Naturally Crafty video, we will be doing mushroom spore print art. For today's materials, we're going to need a container to cover our mushrooms after they have been placed, some scissors, some construction paper, black typically works best, our mushrooms, and then I'm gonna be using some gloves. It's an optional material, but since I did pick wild mushrooms, I don't wanna get those things on my hands. So let's get started. So for the scissors, you're going to want to cut the stem of the mushroom and you want to get as close to the gills as possible. The gills is what's holding the spores. So we want to try to create a flat surface so that those gills can be as close to or touching the paper if possible. Now I'm going to be covering the mushrooms so that the spores stay contained within the environment. And that will be what creates our spore prints. Now we're going to leave them covered and untouched for at least about 6 hours so that those spores can drop onto the paper, and then we'll have our spore prints. So as you can see here, we took the mushroom caps off of the paper and this is the result. If you remember how many mushrooms were actually on there, then you'd notice that not every mushroom that we had on the sheet of paper produced spores that you can see. That could either be because the mushrooms that we put on there, the ones that didn't show up, it's either that they were not alive anymore, so they were no longer producing spores, or it could be that the spores were a color that did not show up against this paper. If you look closely, the three very prominent spore colors there, they're all three different colors. So it could be that one of the mushrooms that we had maybe even produced spores that were black and simply didn't show up on the paper. In order to preserve your spores on the sheet of paper longer, you could spray it with clear acrylic or with hairspray. That way the spores don't get brushed off over time. And if you would like to fill your sheet with more mushrooms in order to get a fuller design, you could go out mushroom hunting on a rainy day. A lot of times after some wet weather, there are more mushrooms that come out. And you will find a lot of mushrooms near dead, fallen trees, or sometimes around the base of the trees is usually where you find the capped mushrooms. Today in our mushroom video, we used a kind of mushroom called a cap mushroom, which is a type of fungi. And these are called cap mushrooms because of their top, kind of looks like a cap. And so the part that we cut off for our mushroom spore art is called the stalk or the stem of the mushroom. And then the top part that we left face up on the paper is the cap of the mushroom, and then underneath the cap is where the gills are located. Mushrooms produce and release spores from the gills that are located underneath the mushroom cap. Each mushroom can produce hundreds of thousands of spores at a time. Mushrooms are not plants. They are the fruit of fungi, much like the fruit of a tree. Mushrooms have a unique life cycle that depend on the size of the mushroom as well as the environment surrounding them. A small mushroom can grow in one day, while a medium or larger mushroom can take 3 to 4 days to grow to its size. Fungi are natural decomposers, breaking down dead and decaying matter. Many different types of fungi play different roles in the wild. Some breaking down dead and dying trees, others breaking down dead leaves or plants. Some fungi are helpful. Bacteria can be used in medicine, like penicillin. Others live inside our digestive system and help us break down and digest our food. Other types of mushrooms that can be found are jelly ear, shelf mushrooms, oyster mushrooms, and many more. Mushrooms that don't have gills, like jelly ear or shelf mushrooms, depend on wind, impact, water, or insects to disperse their spores. Thank you for joining me all today. I hope you guys learned a thing or two about mushrooms, and I hope you enjoyed this unique art that we were able to make. Please like and subscribe to our channel and check us out on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll catch you for some more videos.